We will continue our discussion. Sorry for the abrupt intermission. So I was discussing the parts of the project proposal last time. And we were saying that it's important for us to have the methodology laid out in detail in the project proposal so that everybody will be guided. Although there are other documents that would support the implementation of the project. You will find that out later in this lecture. No? So you are saying the methodology will tell us about the process on how to attain the needs that were identified in the community. And then it is also important for the proponent to include in the document the management team who will be the leader of the project, and then who are the members and their respective responsibilities. And then I've also mentioned the evaluation scheme being necessary at the end of the project. You have to know if we have already completed the project. Anyway, at the beginning, you will be required to specify your target outputs. Meaning, as I said earlier, in the previous part of this lecture, that the objective should be measurable. The target output should be quantifiable. And then there's also this part on the budgetary requirements. It is important that you know how much you will be spending for the activity. Kasi, syempre, hindi ka naman makakakilos kung wala kang pera, di ba? You have to ride, going to the place. Pwede namang maglakad, pero baka mapagod kayo, or kung malayo masyado, it will take time. And then, you have to buy food. Pwede din kayong mag-diet, pero mas maigi yung merong provision for food. Especially if the community is so poor, you will have to bring the food for the meeting, ganon. And other things that you might need, like the supplies and materials, yung bond paper nyo, yung mga folders, etc., no, mga ink. So you will have to put all the details in the budgetary requirement. Okay, it doesn't have to be done on a separate sheet, sabi nila. And then, at the last part of your proposal, you should have this clause. Submitted by and then approved by. Ideally, if it's community immersion under the CWAS, approved by the director of the NSTP. Okay, and also you can have an additional notation here that it is noted by your professor or your instructor, and then approved by the NSTP director as well as the barangay. Okay, barangay say captain or whoever leads the institution you are working with. What I mean by that last phrase is that, for example, you are working for a school or with a school, no, in the barangay. So, sino ang makakamuha nyo doon? Yung principal or whoever heads the institution. Okay? So, after the proposal has been approved and you have prepared already the preliminary requirements for students immersion. This is under normal situation, no? Itong discussion na ito, but you might not need these requirements now, no? I don't know. We will have to wait for advice from our director. But trainees must closely work with the teacher, and then if we need to get the approval of our director, and sometimes we might need the approval of our president. university president. And you have to prepare all the documents needed before we go and launch the project in the barangay. Okay, the following documents are pertinent to this part of your project. No? So you have the waiver in case of the normal arrangement where there's no pandemic, no, you might need to obtain a waiver from the NSTP office, no, that will be signed by you and your parent. And then a letter to the barangay. I will discuss each one in the following slides. Okay. So the letter to the barangay organization leader is a formal communication regarding the intent of any activity to be performed in the barangay. So do you recall that before you even have the project, you have to conduct the community assessment, di ba? You have to conduct an needs assessment as another study that you will need to conduct. So every time you will need to go to the community or you will need to perform some activity in the community, you need a letter to the barangay, no? Barangay head, the captain, barangay captain, no? And when you have this noted, kailangan meron kayong dalawang copy. One for you, yung receiving copy at saka yung copy ng barangay, no? And the organization or organization. So always bring these letters at the initial part of your project because there may be people to whom you might need to explain why you are in the community and what is the activity being conducted. So these documents are not only compliance documents, but they fulfill certain important functions. So you will need to also attach this to your end term report. So you will have a term report by the end of the semester, and this would be included as an attachment. Okay. The second document is the acceptance of the barangay. Okay. So this is a template. Pwede kayong magawa ng template na letter para gagayahin na lang ng barangay. So the barangay can use the template and prepare an acceptance letter to be signed by the barangay executive or the leader of the institution or the head of the organization. The reason why you will need to prepare pre-printed, even to the point of bringing pre-printed copy of the template of the acceptance by the barangay, letter by the barangay, no, is for everybody's convenience. Mag-prepare na kayo para kung wala silang ink or wala silang kuryente, wala silang computer, wala silang printer, you already have the document. This is an important document in this project, no? And you will need to attach it in your final output for the semester. And then, copy of the approved project proposal. So, the purpose of this document is to remind the parties of the details of the project. So when you go to the community, you have a copy of the approved proposal. I'm thinking if super high-tech ang barangay, you can just take an e-copy of the proposal para hindi kayo maraming dinadalang papel kasi baka mamaya malagyan pa ng virus yung mga papel, no? So what you can do is to just take a picture of the proposal and then show it to the whoever is concerned and whoever needs the document. This is to validate your presence in the community. Kasi baka mamaya sabihin nila, sino ba to? Ano bang ginagawa nila dito? And then, what is the project Gantt chart? So Gantt chart is a project management tool. This is very important in assisting the planning scheduling of the activities of the project. No? So tinapi ko lang ito sa internet. So in Gantt charts, you might use a line or a bar chart. No? And this is to enable the project team uh, to see or navigate through the project. So ganito ang itsura niya, no? Example ito. So we have in the university the Earth Care project. Okay? So we have in the first column the various projects, no? And since this is a university project, I don't have an example of a community immersion project. I will get one next time, no? But this is an example of a Gantt chart, no? So here you will find in this part of the chart the time frame, okay? The time frame. So we will know what month is loaded with activities, no? So ito shaded yung mga time na yon. So you will know that at this point, for example, at this point wala, 'di ba? So walang activity, but in April nagkaroon ng activity. And we will hope that in August an activity will be conducted again by whoever. So the first column ideally will have the list of activities, and then you can construct any form of chart that you want that will help you implement your project. Okay, the advantage of having a Gantt chart is that you will know the time, and then you can add all those columns which will help you with the management of your activity. I use this tool very excessively. Abusado na ako dito sa Excel lang ang ginagamit ko sa Gantt chart, no? So I put a lot of columns and the columns will signify the different aspects of the project. So halimbawa, sinong ka-partner, di lalagyan mo ng column for partners, how much is needed, ilang participants ang target, no? Sino ang mga partners sa industries, so kailan gagawin, no? And then sino ang mga personnel na involved. So for every activity, you can put all those details in each column, in each row and column, no? So that's how Gantt chart is very useful in project management. Okay, siguro next time you will also have a chance to abuse the Gantt chart. Okay, and then another document is the memorandum of agreement. So this is an agreement between at least two parties in terms of collaboration regarding the community project. Okay, so the parts of an MOU, ang tawag dito sa agreement na ito ay sometimes ang tawag natin sa kanya ay memorandum of understanding or memorandum of cooperation. So MOA, MOU, MOC. Okay, so now we know that there is a document aside from the project proposal that would tend to strengthen the collaboration. This is the MOA, MOU, or MOC. The function of which is one, to establish who the parties are in agreement, no? Ano yung address nila at sinong nagre-represent sa kanila. So in this particular MOU, you will see how it is drafted, no? It's a legal document, no? So nakalagay dito yung parties. Hindi yung parties na chug ha. What we mean by parties are the entities who are collaborating in the project. So in this particular MOU, this is a regional project. Agricultural Training Institute, and then the President Ramon Magsaysay State University. So there are two institutions coming into an agreement. So meron silang MOA. At makikita niyo dito na may representative bawat isang entity. So ang entity natin sa community ay yung barangay. And then we have another entity into agreement, which is sino? Hindi kayo, no? It is the university. So even if students ang pumasok doon, ang kasundo ng barangay ay yung university, yung college nyo. So you will put there the name of the college and then the name of the dean. Okay? And then pwede na silang mag-MOU. And then what else? Clarify the basis or rationale of the project. So nakalagay dito sa whereas dito yung justification o yung rationale ng agreement ng dalawang entity. The next one is, wala akong nilagay dito sa listahan, but you can put the title of the project. No? And then express the objectives of the project. And then specify also the terms. And cite the target outputs. Basically, what you have put in the proposal, no? Diba? You have your proposal, ano yung mga parts ng proposal. But this time, we are having it in legal form. So if you notice, merong mga pirma yan. Okay? Ito yung first part ng example ng MOA. Sa second part nito, hindi ko na nailagay. But the ones who signed this document sa margin. So, kailangan may pirma sa margin sa first part. Kasi sa bandang hulihan, yan ang ipapanotaryo ng mga those who are coming into agreement if it is a major project. Okay? So, baka magulahan kayo, hindi pa nyo kailangang mag-MOU. Okay? And then it fixes also the time frame. Pero kapag the proponents project na it will be a continuing project or something that will be sustained, hindi nila nilalagyan ng time frame. Basta sinasabi nila, we are entering into an agreement to implement this project. So that kind of agreement is an open agreement or collaboration, wherein the document, you can use it for as long as the project will be implemented. Other documents will include also the learning materials that you will bring to the community. Ito yung mga brochures, pamphlets, videos, PowerPoints, infographics. You search about what these are and how you can prepare them, no? Because in the next couple of weeks, you might be required to prepare some of them, okay, pertinent to your project. This is an example of a brochure na yung cover lang ang pinakita ko. So this is something about how EcoBricks is prepared. So you can also prepare your own brochure on your EcoBricks project. Okay. Another example of an IEC or learning material is a primer. Yung primer, ang tawag dito sa primer, yung may question and answer. The questions are very basic, and these are the questions that people probably will ask about the issue or whatever it is. No, in this particular IEC, it's about vaccination. Okay, so example niya, how do vaccines prevent disease? That's a very practical question, diba? So an IEC or learning material will help the clients understand the project. Okay, And this is another one about violence against women. Can you guess kung anong project ito sa community? This is about anti-domestic violence, or maybe about anti-sexual harassment. Okay, you can bring this kind of IEC materials to the community. It will help you also to establish your relationship to the community. Sasabihin nila, talagang sila, they are concerned about us. So, matutuwa sila. Kahit na anong dalhin ninyo na knowledge doon sa community na talagang deserving yung yung traits ng community, deprived, depressed, and underprivileged. Kahit anong dalhin yung ganitong learning materials, tuwa na sila, no? So ganito. So yan ang isang i-target ninyo kung paano kayo makakagawa ng learning material in connection with your proposed project. Yes, you have been required last time, no? I've already mentioned this several times that you will have to prepare your group project. So it's a group project. So ang assignment nyo actually for next week, hindi ko maituloy kasi I have this policy about deadlines, no? Alam niyo na, kapag hindi kaya, ina-adjust ko. So parang nawawala na ng meaning yung salitang deadline. But anyway, I will want you to prepare this as soon as possible kasi ang bilis ng panahon, no? Mamaya tapos ng semester. Natapos na kayo sa midterms, anong kasunod? Finals na, no? So, ano itong group assignment ninyo? 1, conduct a community assessment. So, in this case, you will be using online and other means if the target locality is far. But since I also mentioned that you can do your project in your own locality, you can conduct it within your locality, within your purok, halimbawa, or your neighborhood, okay? You can do that, but you have to simulate the conduct of an assessment. So halimbawa sa purok, di tingnan ninyo paano kinakandak ang community assessment. Diba? Meron kang map, meron kang basta something that will tell us what is the status of the community. Okay? And then I'm thinking now you can even come up with a video for the community assessment. And then number 2, submit the profile of your target communities, profile of your target community. I mean the narrative or video or whatever constitute the assessment for your community. Okay, you have to post it on the page. Okay, if you're not confident about the quality of your output, you can email it to our email, no? itongsonbeltran@gmail.com. Okay? Number 3, based on whatever safe means available, conduct a needs assessment of your group's target community. Okay? So, remember, this is a group assignment. Okay? Maaari nyong gagawin yan ang target community nyo ay fragmented. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi kayo pwedeng mag-congregate, of course, hindi pwede ngayon, no? Pero kung magkapit-bahay kayo or magpinsan kayo, pwede naman yun, no? Pero kung hindi, wag na lang kasi baka mamaya magkasakit pa kayo. Okay? So, but what you can do is, kung fragmented siya, halimbawa, yung group member nyo galing sa iba't ibang municipality, so iba't ibang neighborhood, you can fuse your community assessment in one group presentation. Okay? So that will be good. And then yung needs assessment, ang gagawin nyo sa needs assessment, sinabi ko na sa inyo kanina, pwedeng mag-conduct kayo ng survey or mag-conduct kayo ng interview online. Okay? What's important is you can present your data. Okay? So halimbawa, it doesn't need to be so complicated. Just as long as you can prove that you have conducted the required activity, okay, to show that you already know how to do it. Okay, so paano kayo magkakonduct ng needs assessment? Merong di ba merong tawag dito, chart. Okay, how you conduct it. If you already forgot, go back to the presentation and go back to the PowerPoint, because I will post this PowerPoint on your page so that you can review it. And then you need to write a short narrative summary of the data you collected through the needs assessment. Naintindihan? Okay, so halimbawa, nag-interview kayo, tinanong nyo, kailangan, di ba, meron kayong list of questions. Tinanong nyo, yung tanong nyo may sagot. So, ipunin nyo yung mga sagot ng mga key respondents. And then, you can summarize. And then, after summarizing, you have to analyze. Okay, and paano analysis? Parang yung ginawa nyo na yan nung nag-thesis kayo, di ba? Halimbawa, most likely, iipunin nyo yung mga needs na in-enumerate ng mga key respondents. And then you can assess. So, halimbawa, inulit ng 3 respondents yung sinabi ng isa't isa. Ibig sabihin, that must be a priority need, di ba? So, yun ang assessment nyo. Okay? Yun ang inyong analysis. And then, number 5, based on that needs assessment, you have to already conceptualize a project. Okay? So, what is the purpose of this? Meron ng di ba? Meron na kayong outline. Going back to number 5, meron na kayong outline kung ano ang project proposal. Okay? So, it's a simple document. Okay? You have to talk among your group mates kung paano nyo ito gagawin. Okay? Do not unnecessarily expose yourself to the virus. You have to use your brain on how to keep yourself safe. Yun ang pinaka-importante. Okay? So, go back to the part of the PowerPoint where you find the outline of the proposal, and then make a draft of the proposal. So, you will be given 2 weeks to finish all of this 1 to 5. Okay? So, you don't have time to waste. Okay? So, I will end my session at this point. And if you have any questions about the requirements, please email your BDELs. Okay, email or message your BDELs so that we can help you on how to accomplish your PowerPoint. Okay. So this is all. Don't be so stressed about what's going on. Magdasal lang palagi, and then yes, do not be a victim of the ongoing, I think it's a social phenomenon that everybody is so stressed about everything because of the pandemic, no? Tiwala lang, no? Basta gawin nyo yung safe na mga bagay, wag Wag yung i-expose yung sarili nyo sa sakuna, no? At kayo ay magiging ligtas, maging mabait kayo. Una na lang sa sarili niyo and then sa parents nyo, sa family nyo, sa community nyo. Okay? I'll see you again next week. Bye.